Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, July 11, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll also be having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk different avenues about how do you stay in the body with a better quality of life until we have the CC available for everyone. In the beginning of any truly awesome adventure in life, we first need a reason or motivation for going. We need a desire to move us forward no matter what challenges or obstacles may come our way. And we're on this discovery trail to find our enlightened selves, enlightened manifesting selves. Within us is like finding a secret palace of your choosing. You want to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions, relaxed into your body, still as a statue and focused on just your natural breath, breathing of rising and falling. Now, we all know that none of us are rookies to life. We really aren't. Not at this stage. And there is every possibility on this journey that we're all on that we're going to be stopped, feel blocked, and become deeply distracted by something that's more appealing along the way. It is a great chance that you will be enabled or enticed with seeing something so seductive and exciting that you may forget that the Golden Palace existed at all and think it was just some far-off fantasy and call off your entire search to find it. Now, when you can imagine, when you truly imagine, it doesn't matter, whatever it is in your mind's eye, you can create it. Doesn't matter what it is. But then the ego mind comes in and it kiboshes it. And you start questioning and doubting. And say, it's silly. No way that'll ever happen. And this is what we do here. Eventually, lifetime after lifetime, we get to a kind of a self-awareness, a reckoning, where we know that something's pulling us to go within. And it doesn't go away. It used to go away, but then you get to the point where it doesn't go away. It's always there, drawing you to go within. Now, going within is an unknown, isn't it? As I've shared before, I've talked to several people through the years that say they fear going within. An answer in so many words, different ways, is what are you afraid of? And these are, full-grown, somewhat mature adults. And they say that because they don't know what they're going to find. Well, that's true. You don't. But see, when you have 100% confidence, 100% faith, 100% trust in yourself and this universe, it's a no-brainer. And maybe you don't know how to go within. That's another one. How people say, well, how the heck do you start by going? What do you mean go within? And it's like these meditations. They get you on the right path. This is what you're doing. You're going within in these meditations. And what is in? What is in? What do you mean going within? Well, you go within and you're in silence. You're still as a statue. You're very silent. you're in total quiet. You have left the ego mind alone, and you're in the now, the present moment. And you realize that in ego mind, existing in yesterday and tomorrow, where ego mind is, it's stressful. You feel it. All of us do. Different degrees, different levels, different times during the course of our day and week, year. But when we go into the now and we're in silence, like in these meditations, after the guided information, it's not there. The suffering's not there. The disappointment's not there. The worrying, anxiety, it's not there. It doesn't exist. All of that noise of 60,000 thoughts hitting us repeatedly day after day, all the stress feelings and thoughts and anxieties and stuff that come and go, gone. Fear, gone. And this is why we ask the civilization to look in that direction. Fear is false. But all these things we use for certain motivations. But when you go in and you find out who and what you are, you're in the silence. When you're in the silence and everything is still, you're in the same room that the God's in. Now, one might think, well, wouldn't it be more flamboyant to have it, music playing and all this stuff going on? No. It's the opposite of where we're at on the outside, which is a lot of noise. And see, everything, you got to repeat this over and over again throughout our lifetimes, not just once in a while. But everything that you see is the result of your thoughts. And there is no exception to this fact. Course in Miracles. This civilization called humanity or mankind or whatever label has been given throughout the galaxy about this civilization is supremely powerful. We are super manifestors. We are beings that never die, that experience material, physical, organic life. And all along, see, this is where we begin to realize and pick up on the fact that we've been manipulated. That's pretty much it. Program. Everybody. And that goes on until we leave the body. Now, when you begin to feel this, it's kind of there's a combination. It's kind of like boring and then not boring and then flat and then not flat and then little excitement and then no excitement, tired and awake, kind of combination of all of that. And you know that it is not your true existence. That it is a facsimile created by your thoughts, whether you are aware of it or not. Everything you see. So someone might want to say, well, okay, so we're sitting here on this bench and we're looking at trees. And you mean to tell me that my thoughts created those trees? Yep. Because, see, it's not just you, it's everybody. Okay, so I'm looking at a mountain, and you mean to tell me that my thoughts created that mountain? Yep. Now, that's for the mind, forget it. The mind's not going to comprehend that. It's too small of a vessel. Heart-mind will fathom a lot more of it. whatever we think, we create. And here's the dangerous part. When you're just randomly going about your affairs of the day, you are sending out they're like little spark thoughts. You don't put a lot of time on them. They just, you know what I mean? They come and go. You have a thought, goes out. Unbeknownst to you, those thoughts are manifesting. You know why? Because you're not worried about them, you're not stressed about them, you're not doubting them. You just send them out, period. And you do it. It's so quick. That's why I call it spark thought. Just shoots out. And we do that all the time. And that's what creates a lot of the things that you came up to some people and say, well, you're whatever you're thinking, you're creating. No, not. There's no way I created this. There's no way. But then you turn around and say, yeah, that's what happens with all of us. Period. It's like you want to be wealthy, you think about it. You don't fixate about it. You don't doubt it. You don't cross-examine it. You just think it in detail and let it go. And that's what these spark thoughts are. We just shoot them out there. And this is why so many things in our lives surprise us, because little things come in that we just kind of take a second glance at and say, what was that? So we have this, it's an innate ability of tremendous power. And when you set the intention right now to dive deeper into your innermost core this week, and that each day you'll be going deeper than you've ever gone before, you'll need to know that the trust that you can truly relax, right? You need to know and trust that you can truly relax and be quiet enough to find it. And it is the energy of trust that is essential for your highest experience of existence. Totally trusting, 100%, the process of relaxation and letting go of resistance to it is absolutely necessary. It is that free soul who has unlimited perceptions about reality and no limits on what is actually possible and impossible. And this type of mind has to trust existence to survive. And to access the most magical foundation within your being, you'll simply need to do the easiest thing in this world. Relax. It's like we do in these meditations. Relax and become very still. You'll need to let go of all your efforting and just do nothing. Now, the ego mind, you may think you need to hold your mind still in such a way that it no longer is moving at all. Yet, this may only make the mind more jumpy. So when you simply practice letting go, letting everything in this universe be exactly the way it is, you'll feel a subtle calm sensation in your heart. And something will tell you that everything is perfectly okay. And eventually, the mind will relax and find peace, which will allow you to rest and fall into the innermost core of your being. Now, one might say, well, we come here, and then what are we supposed to do? Spend all of our time inside ourselves. Nothing out there. We're just going to be in meditation forever. But that's not how it works. You make the commitment to go deep within, You identify things. Things that you've experienced, maybe things from past lives that you've been carrying with you. And it's more burdensome. And you feel the weight. You do. We all feel the weight, but we get used to it after a while. It's like, maybe some of you have experienced this. They've had them for years. They're like 2.5 pound ankle weights for different exercising and stuff. And I used to wear them when I ran. And after a while, that's that extra weight, but you get used to it. It's no big deal. You just get used to that extra weight around your ankles, and whenever you're doing. But boy, I'll tell you, for a short period of time, when you take those weights off, you feel like you could jump a mile into the sky. And and that's the same thing happens when you make peace and surrender all of these things that you have been dragging with you. You decide. You might say to yourself, I've been carrying this stuff for a long, long, long time. And remember, you're not hard on yourself at all. You're not beating yourself up. You're gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. But you identify it and you say, I don't really care to carry this anymore. It's not serving me any good, any greater good at all. And it's burdensome. It's heavy. So you surrender it. You say, I let this go. Even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, right, and burn it. Whatever works for you is what I'm saying. Whatever works for you. And you just clean house. You let go of all that crap and stuff that you've been carrying. You forgive yourself on all fronts. Genuinely. Not superficially. You forgive yourself superficially, and it's still going to be there. It might disappear for a bit, and then it's back. But genuinely, you're just going to let it go. Forgive yourself and let it go. Okay? Any past stuff that you've been carrying, and that's usually what we do. We carry past circumstances, events. And some of us carry it for lifetimes. We let it go. We know what it is. It's not like you don't know what it is. You know what those things are. You just don't feel like addressing them. And then you get to the point where you say, man, you know what? I am just not interested in carrying this stuff around the rest of the life I do have. And you drop it. It's like, a hot air balloon. I don't know if you've ever been a hot air balloon. But just nothing fancy. You get in the basket. And on the floor of the basket, there's these sandbags, ballast, weight. And if you don't take out a certain poundage amount, you're just going to sit on the ground. You're not going to go anywhere. And you kind of, it feels safe, right? Well, I'm on the ground, so I'm not going to take anything out because I don't care to go up in the sky. But then you start realizing, I'm going to take some weight out. So you take the weight out, you just drop it on the ground outside the basket, and the basket starts to go up, moves up. Of course, it's hot air. Hot air rises, and hot air blows up into the balloon. And you start to go, wow, this is fun. It feels a lot lighter. And so you drop some more. And you start going up further and higher. And pretty soon, especially on a fall day, you can see all the colors and the whole horizon and the sky and everything and the sunlight. It's just absolutely amazing. It is the God that you are, so to speak. So you let this stuff go. You don't. This is it is a challenge sometimes to explain it. You're in this life, right? You're experiencing whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're creating, you're experiencing. But you're not of this life. Okay? You're in it, but you're not of it. which means is that you're the God. You're the pure consciousness within that body. You're omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies. And so the body affords all of us phenomenal experiences on a second-to-second, just breathing. Just breathing. You ever had your breath taken away and you start to realize, wow. I have when I played football. I'd get hit so hard that it knocked the breath out of you. You know, it just knocks the air out of your lungs. You can't breathe. You're laying down on the ground, and you got teammates there, and you got the team physician, and you just have to wait. You've got to wait until you can reoxygenate the lungs. There's nothing anybody can do. No matter, some of them try to do stuff, but if you know what I mean, if you've ever had the air knocked out of you, it's a scary thing because you can't breathe. Literally, no breath. You can't get any air. But yet but when we're not interrupted or anything, and we're just during the course of the day we're breathing, we just take it for granted. It's like, oh, it's just breathing. And our breath is the God. The breath is life. The breath is God. God is life. Life is God. When you start looking at it that way, when you really do, and you give it attention, you start to feel it. That each breath of your breath rising and falling like you focus on in this meditation is God. It's the God. It's life. Without the breath, the body would cease. In a very short period of time. Not pleasant. It's like when you get too much water in your lungs when you're underwater and you're in an ocean or a large lake, and you take in water. Maybe some of you have done that. That's another strange feeling. And immediately your body is saying, let's get that out of here. Let's cough it up. That's why when you resuscitate someone who came pretty near to drowning, which I've done with a few people, you don't know if that God is still in that body. But you do it, and then, it's always a surprise because then they cough up the water and they wake up. But the breath, our breath, is sacred. Our breath is omnipotently powerful. And yet we take it for granted. And you know what? That most of us on this planet, we barely breathe. We barely breathe. We shallow breathe. And so people say, well, why is that? We're so distracted. We really are. Isn't that amazing? We're distracted from the very thing that keeps these bodies functioning. The breath, the God. Know that the self is the rider and the body the chariot. Okay? So the chariot is the body, you're the rider. And chariot's taking you along. The intellect is the charioteer. The one that's handling the reins with the chariot and actually driving it. And the mind, the reins, okay? So you have the charioteer and the mind is the reins. And the senses, say the wise, are the horses. The roads they travel are the mazes of desire. Eyes call the self, the enjoyer. The self, you, the enjoyer, when it is united with the body, the senses, and the mind. Bhagavad Gita. See, so all of us have this magical core that you hear me talk about. It's buried deep and it's hidden beneath layers and layers and layers of beliefs, memories, and ideas about who you are. It is not necessarily at the core of your physical body, which a lot of people get kind of confused, yet it is at the core of your being. which is the God. To find this place, your body must be totally relaxed and at ease. This is why in the meditation I say, be as still as a statue. And people go, that's kind of tough. You're focusing on your breath, you're relaxing your body, and you're still as a statue. But I'll tell you, we all have done it more than once in this life alone. There's nobody around. And maybe there's people around too, because you do it then. But you zone out. Have you ever done that? You become completely still. You don't even blink your eyes. You go into this other field, and you're completely still. You freeze. You just completely freeze. And you're staring, but it's almost like you're not in your body. You ever done that? You could be making dinner or breakfast or something, and then you just freeze. You just go into some kind of it's not really a trance, it's just another dimension. And then someone will come up and go, hey, Doris, and you come out of it. You ever done that? You're as still as a statue when you're in that existence. And we've all done it. We just never correlate it. We never compare it with that of being as still as a statue. When we master our minds, because we will, right? When we master the ego mind and it becomes at peace and then it fades out, we'll be free. Totally free. The mind determines whether we're free or prisoners. You take kind of look at yourself and you say, am I a prisoner to my mind or am I free from my mind? Now, I think some of us, to certain extents, are, but not all the way. I don't believe anybody on this planet is totally free of the mind. But you get tastes of it. And this is why in these meditations, you're in the now, which moves you out of the mind. And that's the only way you're going to master the mind. You talk to all the gurus, and you talk to all the masters throughout the ages, not only on this planet, but everywhere. And they'll all say the same thing. You try every angle, every avenue, every which way but loose, and it all comes back to meditation. And see, most of the people on this planet are lazy, so they don't meditate. They figure that, the physical, material world's more important, and so they don't take the time to meditate. But when you take the time to meditate, it's a whole different existence. It really is. And people think that they have to go find a quiet place. That's perfect. But there's a walking meditation. Right? You could be swimming, you could be walking, sitting out in nature, and meditate. Focus on something. Focus on the wind through the tops of the trees. Let everything go. Move into the now, the moment. And whatever attracts you to that, go with it. And you become as still as a statue. Now, what would happen? This might be a little different for people to review with themselves. What would happen if we all started wearing no socks, no shoes, and we were all just walking around barefooted? Of course, we would, a little bit at a time until the bottoms of our feet were tough enough so that we wouldn't, walking on little pebbles would hurt. But eventually it'd get tough enough, we just walk around just barefooted. We'd all be a lot healthier. It's just that one thing. We'd all be a lot healthier. We don't realize that these bodies are deeply connected to this planet. They really are. And people say, well, how do you know that? You heard me say this, and you could research it yourself. Trees give off carbon dioxide. I mean, they take in carbon dioxide. We give out carbon dioxide. Trees take it in. It sustains them. And they give out oxygen, which we need to sustain ourselves. Trees and us have a very close relationship, and we don't even know it. And look at what we've done. We've taken 9 billion acres of trees off the planet, deforested the planet. Every time, when you see beetle kill or you see old wood laying in the woods or stuff wherever you live, and you see it, that's kind of the wood you use, that you burn and stuff. Now imagine that the time's going to come where we won't do that. We won't strip the natural resources because we'll have a broad-range replicator. That's really exciting. We'll live in peace and harmony. Deeply eternal loving of oneself. Not narcissistic. That's all ego mind stuff. Whenever I talk about this, it's in heart mind. It's in the now, the present moment. And the present moment is what we have. That's all we have. Every one of us, it's all we have. You could have $50 gazillion and not wake up the next morning, and that $50 gazillion goes to someone else. This is how we cherish our existence on this planet, by honoring the moment to moment, the now. And the now is only the present moment. It's moment to moment to moment. So you don't think into tomorrow. You don't think about yesterday. You're not a year from now thinking. You're only in the moment. I've had countless people say to me, what are your plans for next month? Right? I don't have any. Well, you've got to plan. Why? Why do you have to plan? Why can't you just know? Okay? In the moment, when whatever comes in, you know. See, when you can direct your thoughts in a meditative state, and you direct it to the universe, and you have 100% trust, 100% faith, and 100% confidence in yourself and the universe through heart-mindedness, and you send a thought out to that universe. You're not worrying, you're not stressing, you're not fearing, you're not doubting. It is clean, smooth, precise, finite. Perfection. And you deliver it to the universe, which you feel the same way about, as you do yourself, 100% across the board. And it's a desire. It's something that you want. One thing. And you let it out there, you let it go, and you leave it alone. You automatically know it is going to be. You ever going to come across people where they give off the vibrational frequency of not arrogance, but knowing? They just know. And someone might ask them, how do you just know? And their answer is, because I do. There's no other way to answer that. Or someone who seems very, very sure of something, not overconfident, none of the ego mind stuff, but you feel that frequency, you feel that vibration that come from certain people. You pick it up. You say to yourself, wow, this one, I believe that what they're saying is actually in the making. See, you just know these things. What happens to that is that other people who doubt, right, who analyze, who critique, and who judge themselves, therefore others and other things, they're never going to get there. Ever. So, it's all about us deciding to discover that we are God. Now, in the religious sectors on this planet, thousands of them, it's looked at as blasphemy and evil and arrogant and overconfidence, and all that stuff. That's society. That's the human psyche. It's been religiousized for centuries and decades. And in actuality, it is your natural state of being. To know, to have that confidence, trust, and faith in yourself and its universe. To know the universe is your best friend, always will be, always has been, ever, beyond, and forever. And you can communicate with it, and it gives you signs, and it tells you all the time that it's there. It never doesn't. And see, this is how you begin to become more and more aware of the effort that's been put forth to make sure that you never discover who and what you are. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath, rising and falling. Whoever you've decided you are, is still the tiniest fraction of who you really are. You are not defined by the ideas you have about yourself, nor your desires, nor the shape of your body, and not the positive or negative attitude of your mind. You are beyond all of this. You are indefinable. You are greater than your mind can fathom. You are a spiritual energy which is unbounded and infinite. This is the true you that will never die. For 5 minutes sometimes today, sit with the question, who am I? Explore it with your heart, not with your head. Be aware of the mind whenever it creates another idea of who you will be or who you were. And instead, dive into the very essence of your being. Explore what is here now, at the very core of you, in this moment. Take this with you for the rest of the day and the evening and night and following morning. We will return here tonight at 9:15. After 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or inside of you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.